Plus
to the most magical place on earth. Familiar foes vying for the title, conference champion. Can Fairfield continue their reign of dominance, or will the Bobcats rise to the occasion and dethrone the Stags? The 2022 MAAC Volleyball Championship starts now. It's what dreams are made of. A sensational Saturday at ESPN, Wide World of Sports. The MAAC Volleyball Championship hangs in the balance as Fairfield and Quinnipiac square off for the title. And we started the week with 10 teams, only 2 remain standing this afternoon inside of the State Farm Fieldhouse. The tension is high. And welcome aboard alongside Erin, Campbell, the former star at UCF. I'm Tom James. These top-seeded Stags roared through 2022. They feel like this championship is their destiny, but they're staring across the net today, Erin, at a surprising upstart crew from Quinnipiac.
Yeah, and Quinnipiac, if they play like they did yesterday, they're going to frustrate a really sound, really dimensional offense. Just couldn't get any kills yesterday was Ryder. They had to battle through this defense. Now for Fairfield, it's all about using your big players, spreading that offense, using every weapon in your arsenal to score points, but it's going to be tough against a very, very good defense.
Well, Fairfield is led by the MAAC Player of the Year, K.J. Johnson, an incredible 20 kills yesterday in the semis.
And really, they relied on her in those tough situations. As we got closer to that 25-point mark, set her a ton because they needed that offensive production, and she just carried the weight of this team on her shoulders.
How about her supporting cast? I love Cooper, a big presence up at the net.
And Cooper's efficiency helped spread that offense a lot. Ella Gardner is another player we're going to call a lot, and Sarah Daniels. They just have so many different options in that front row.
On the other side, the Bobcats, Jovione celebrating her birthday yesterday with 15 kills in the semis.
And today, against a really good blocking team, she's going to have to use all that smarts, all that volleyball IQ to score against a really good block and a really good defense. The good thing is there's a lot of other players on Quinnipiac that can score points, like Diaz on the right side and Nicole Legg, who we saw get really active yesterday in the match.
This team is young and they are talented. And head coach Kyle Robinson, he told us this early in the week, that he believed that this team had what it took to go all the way, and so far he's been correct. They're one win away from winning it all. And Todd Kress, in his second stint as head coach at Fairfield in his 13th season, the all-time school leader in wins. With 258, he has 493 wins overall in 26 seasons as a D1 coach, and he's the reigning MAAC Coach of the Year. As players get introduced, tell us, Erin, the nerves right now. What are these teams feeling?
Yeah, I think that they're just relieved to be here, both sides, right? They both had really tough tournaments, played good volleyball all throughout the last 3 to 4 days. They're just ready for the championship to be crowned. And I think everybody knows the game plan. They've played each other enough. They know what they need to do to win. Both sides of the court know that. And what I love about Kyle Robinson, we talked to him a little bit yesterday. He has no illusions of grandeur. This team, he knows exactly what this team is. We're not a great blocking team, but you know what? We're scrappy on defense. We're not the most offensive side-out percentage. We don't have the highest side-out percentage, but we're going to score points. Like, there's just this sense of reality that I really like about Quinnipiac, and I love that the team's kind of built around that. And for Fairfield, it's all about just how many different players can you get kills from throughout this entire match.
Fairfield has this aura of invincibility, and I guess that's one thing that Quinnipiac has to face, and I'm sure he's talked to them about kind of overlooking. They're another team, they're another obstacle in front of us as Ariana Diaz gets it underway. And that one goes out from Cooper in the first point to the upstart Bobcats.
And Legg just had a phenomenal match yesterday on offense specifically, but comes out hot. That's exactly what Quinnipiac needs. Again, not a great blocking team, but to add that to the mix of how this team has performed this weekend, that's just going to be another layer that's going to make it harder for Fairfield to win.
Here's Johnson's first touch, and opted not for the power, a little bit of touch for the win.
Well, in that system, credit to Quinnipiac for setting that block and being really sound there. Nicole Legg was right there, read that offensive choice, and great job by KJ Johnson recognizing she didn't have the swing there. She just had that roll shot.
And that incredible high jump serve from Johnson. And how about the block at the net by Walker? Maya Walker all over it.
Her and Allie Elliott set that ball, set that block up perfectly. It looks like Elliott got that clip.
Yep.
Well done by the freshman outside.
Stewartville, Minnesota products. Allie Elliott with the big block. And a big kill coming right back. Nicole Legg at 6 feet 3 inches tall.
And if Quinnipiac keeps that ball control up and they start using those middles, we talked a lot about this, them being kind of the cornerstone of that offense. If they can get that built in, they're going to be a tough team to beat because you add in this layer of amazing defense, nothing hits the floor, with great production in transition. That's the game plan for Quinnipiac today.
Tied at 2 apiece in the early going. There goes Cooper. It's good. Right inside that sideline. And Cooper with 10 kills in each of the last 2 matches, the quarters and the semis.
And just hits at such a high efficient level. Very rarely does she err. Most of the time she's going to get a great kill, or she's going to put it in a place that forces the opponent out of system.
Cooper, another look. Blocked at the net. And that went off the antenna, so the point is going to belong to the Stags.
And Giovioni had such a great match yesterday. Really overthinking it a little bit too much with the block there. I like the attempt at going at the high hands. Just have to make sure you check that block before you swing.
It's good. Big swing, and there she is. Giovioni, only a freshman from Italy, but she has emerged as such a big star for this team.
And I love the confidence in Gunish to go back out to the pin. After an error, get that confidence back up from Giovioni because you need her in this match today.
Set for Cooper, blocked by Giovioni. Giovioni is denied by Ella Gardner, who had 5 blocks yesterday. She's right back at it.
We talk a lot about the Fairfield block. They lead their league with 257 team blocks coming into the tournament. That is one of the key components of this defense. They set that ball up, that block up so well that nobody knows where to hit. You have to hit high hands against a set block like that, otherwise they are going to block you.
Freshman Abby Chandro with the serve. That one's going to be good. Back and forth we go. Quinnipiac now pulling back to within 1. The Bobcats won their season finale last weekend in a 3-0 sweep from Ryder, so they had some good mojo coming in to this week. Good, big hit, big swing. Sarah Daniels, the St. Louis transfer.
And one thing we've seen Fairfield do on that last play that we haven't seen anybody do against Quinnipiac is slow down the arm swing from Diaz and then convert in transition. Again, that's what happens when you're a Stags team that has so many different options on offense. You can really put the ball in any zone and you're going to score points.
Well, big power that time. Lexi Morse. Nearby Tampa, the middle blocker.
And this first ball kill percentage right now for Quinnipiac is something we haven't seen from them in the last 2 matches they've played. They are getting that first ball kill and getting that ball back, not letting Fairfield go on any runs so far in this match.
Daniels right off the pin. So Quinnipiac scores the point, and we're all even at 6 apiece. First set, the finals. 2 teams for 1 trophy. Here at ESPN Wide World of Sports. A lot of tension in this building right now. Oh, big kill. There she is again. 2 in a row for Morse.
And everybody knows that the left front attacker that goes back in serve receive right now, it's KJ Johnson. It's a really hard, everybody wants to go after that position in serve receive or at the serve because a lot of the times the hitter's already thinking about hitting. They need to pass first and then make that transition.
Diaz, kept alive by the Stags, pushed across. And unable to handle it right there under the net was Goodish. See Todd Kress. Talked about how loosey-goosey his team really is. Loves coaching them. A lot of power. And the point for Quinnipiac. He talked about his Stags team and being very, very loose, but Kyle Robinson describes his Bobcats as being the most fun-loving team he's ever had. He's in his 4th season with Quinnipiac. Bobcats lead at 8-7. Here's KJ Johnson. And in the net, Fairfield scores the point. Tied at 8. Back and forth. Pretty feels like so evenly matched here in the early going.
And it's that side-out ability for Quinnipiac right now. Yeah, especially in the matches we've seen throughout this tournament, the rallies have been so long because of the defensive stride. They haven't had the offensive production to match. So now you layer that in, they're siding out at such an efficient rate. This match feels really fast compared to what we've seen.
Blocked into net. A little combo, Walker and Johnson.
Very, very big block for a not-so-tall outside or right-side hitter in Diaz. Again, 5'4", but we've seen her just play like a juggernaut against everybody. So I know that she'll get her confidence back and keep swinging on that right side.
And a big turnaround. Goodish with the point for Quinnipiac. You saw that graphic a minute ago. They met in the championship in 2019 here that Fairfield defeated Quinnipiac. Johnson not able to handle that deep serve from the Bobcats.
And what I love about Diaz is, yeah, she maybe didn't have the best front 3 rotations when she was in the front row, but she's made up for it with great defense and now back at the service line. She's just able to leverage the different parts of her game to lead this team, whether it's hitting or anything else. She's a true 6 rotation player.
KJ. And somehow it's still in play right off of from the face of Montgomery, and she's okay. Here's Montgomery setting for Johnson. It was touched back there, and the point for Fairfield.
And Montgomery just sitting in there, being tough, being gritty. Makes the play on that first touch, keeps the ball alive, great transition point. And again, that's where KJ Johnson's the most dangerous, when she's able to swing over the block. The defense just isn't designed to be there.
Big kill. Unable to handle it where the Stags is number 14 Legg again. So much leadership that Nicole Legg, as a grad transfer from USF, has on this team. She's originally from Union, Kentucky. They kind of look at her as sort of the mom type player on this team. And a big kill. That's Cooper again. She loves the right side.
You want to guarantee you set Cooper on the right side. She is almost perfect throughout this tournament. And what I love is that they don't have to use her every single time. It's in those critical moments where you want to stop a run, you want to get that first ball kill. They're going to push that ball to the right pin.
Laser serve down the line. Cooper blocks it, but it goes out, so the Bobcats take the point. And edge in front, 12-11.
And And the beauty of having smaller outsides and smaller front row for Quinnipiac is they know how to be tricky. They've been dealing with bigger players on the other side of the net their whole entire career. So they know what to do. They know how to use the block to their advantage, get those tips, get those tools for those easy points.
Deep into the court. Good enough for the point. Tied again, and it doesn't. As you take a look at the block leaders in the MAAC Championship, Fairfield in front, Iona and Ryder, St. Peter's, Canisius. Diaz with the left hand. And a block by Gunish. Another block, and it's Gunish again. Damla Gunish from Turkey. She and her sister, Yagmur, both play on this team. Damla with 2 big blocks.
Quinnipiac 6th in the tournament in blocks, but today they're coming out owning that net right now. And again, you layer that into this already competitive defense. That's a scary team to play against right now.
Diaz. Blocked, but it goes out. Looks like Diaz been a little quiet here in the early going as she rotates through. Ariana Diaz. MAAC first teamer. The awards were given out Wednesday night here at Disney. Here's Diaz again. Rejected.
Oh, great coverage.
Kept alive somehow. And unable to handle that one from Allie Elliott. Her 2nd kill here in the first half.
And that pin's getting a lot of action between Diaz and Elliott. Good win in transition. I love that this freshman has really stepped up to the challenge in the tournament this week for Fairfield.
Tobignoni. Johnson. Tobignoni is blocked at the net. And into the net, that one goes. The error from Yagmur Gunish. Ties it at 14. Boy, what kind of confidence, though, would it give Quinnipiac if they could somehow take this first set? They haven't won a set off of Fairfield this entire season.
I mean, what does Quinnipiac have to lose at this point, right?
Nothing.
You've got to, you're the underdog. All you have to do is play really well. And so far, they've done that.
And Sarah Daniels with the big kill right there. It takes us to a break. Todd Kress's team has edged now in front, 15-14. It's the finals, the championship on the line at the MAAC Championship.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
The B1 Performance Patch elevates physical functions by transforming carbs into glucose used to fuel the body. Don't compete without it. Visit buyb1.com or on social media at B1Patch.
Inside the Fairfield huddle as we come out of this timeout. The Stags leading here early. First set 15-14. The past champions here over the last 5-6 years. As you see, the Stags have won 3 of the last 5. And in 2020, keep in mind, the Stags did not participate in that event. So they couldn't have won it. Had they may have. as Morse with another kill. She keeps the pressure on. That is her 4th kill here in the first set.
And both teams just siding out at incredible rates. Quinnipiac at 64%, Fairfield at 66%. We saw Quinnipiac struggle inside out specifically. Again, their defense keeping them in those longer rallies, almost forcing their opponents to error. But great play so far from Quinnipiac to really settle in on the game and score points on offense.
Diaz, oh, so crafty. That is why she is a MAAC first-team player, Ariana Diaz, who stands just 5 feet 4 inches tall.
Yeah, but if you're defense, she's going up there with both hands. You know she's going to do that. That's the shot she's had all tournament. You just have to be able to read that, be nimble, be flexible, be able to move laterally on defense to make that play quickly. But it's a great kill from Diaz.
16-15.
Good set by Diaz.
Oh, and a block at the net, though, by Daniels. Sarah Daniels out of Savannah. She's 6'2". A lot of experience for Daniels.
You got to go high hands. You're not going to beat through that block. Almost use it. Think of the fingers as something you can brush off. Swing really, really high like you're almost going out of bounds. They'll have a better shot at making that swing.
Diaz pushing deep into the court. KJ Johnson. No stopping that power from Johnson. She's the points leader overall in this tournament this week.
Yeah, and just set up way far inside for KJ Johnson. You have to be able to put that almost left hand on the ball if you're blocking against her as a pin player, because you know she has so many opportunities to swing.
Wow, Diaz stomps her foot to celebrate that big kill right in between the defenders.
Just so fearless.
Yep.
Here
she is.
Not a lot of 5'4" outsides in the game right now, but she's the one that's setting the tone for everybody else. She's making it so 5'4" players can swing heavy against a very, very good, very big block.
Tapped across. Blocked. Daniels. Here's Johnson. No stopping that. Stags in a tight first set, 18-17 now. Back to serve will be Blakely Montgomery. And Montgomery somehow keeping it alive. Johnson.
Good read by Montgomery, making that adjustment.
Johnson again, and that one is going to go wide. Sails wide, tied again. That's Kyle Robinson. Boy, this will test your nerves. A close first set like this. He's trying to keep them loose, isn't he? Players love playing for him. Such a block. Yes, but rejected again. Over from Johnson.
Wow, look at that coverage.
Incredible from Walker.
And that gets a kill. The confidence you get as a hitter to know that if the block's there and I get blocked, my team's right there. That's that relentless, fearless spirit that just continues to build that momentum. I'm going to go up there because I know that there's 6 people behind me in what we call the cup. They're going to pick up that ball, and then to convert that point, whoo, you got to be really happy if you're Coach Robinson.
Oh, unable to handle it is Walker with the big hit. Walker, a freshman who's had a big role this year for Coach Kress's team. Next generation of Stags in this dominant program. alive. Kyla Berg right at her. And a point and a kill for the Bobcats.
Once again, just this fearless attitude from the front six for Quinnipiac. That is a big block set up inside. That set is low, tight, and inside. But experience wins every time. And just to go up there and swing heavy on that ball, you're going to make good things happen when you stay aggressive.
Finish serves. Coming off that kill. And it's good from leg. She's been everywhere, all over the net here in this first set. And will you look at that? Quinnipiac in the 2 meetings this season with Fairfield been swept 3-0. Both times have not won a set. They lead at 21-19. Could be on the verge of a real surprise to start this match.
Well, we talked a lot about what Quinnipiac has done well throughout this tournament. They've played really good defense. They've been really frustrating to play against. They've been scrappy. But what we're seeing today is a completely different Quinnipiac team. They came to play today. Offense, offense, offense. Not something we would have thought we'd be saying from Quinnipiac. And it's not all on Diaz. That's the thing. It's been everybody contributing to that offense. And you layer in the great defense. Again, just a tough team to beat.
It was not a good October, as you can see right there, for Quinnipiac against Fairfield. They were swept on October 1st and again on October 29th by Fairfield. 3-0 each time, and it wasn't even that close. And you know, you come down here to ESPN Wide World of Sports, it's the postseason, you wipe the slate clean, it's a different ball game.
Well, when you're Fairfield, you come in to this tournament, you have the target on your back. Again, it's your tournament to lose. Everybody's going to play fearless against you, so you have to match that. You have to play that same level of aggression, that same level of volleyball, because everybody else, it's win or be done right now. So they're just going to come out there and play and be really smart.
Fairfield takes everybody's best shot, that is for sure. And now 22-19.
Serving was a huge component to that win yesterday for Quinnipiac. They want to go back to that service line and be super aggressive, especially at this point in the match. They don't want to give any kind of free ball situations to a tough team like Fairfield.
Kept alive. Got to send it all the way back, and they do. Great job there by Dahl. Cooper.
Great coverage.
Incredible coverage, yep.
Great set.
Elliott, what a point.
High hands, baby.
And off the hands, and Quinnipiac now. What a point. It's amazing that Fairfield somehow got back into that point at all, but ultimately the Bobcats, and now they're 2 points from the set, Erin.
I'm telling you, playing against a defense that doesn't let the ball hit, I mean, it's so frustrating. It is so frustrating because you think you go up there and you're going to hit this ball and crunch on it, and they're like, boop, free pass. It's so frustrating.
Cooper answering back, and the Stags needed that.
Yeah, and it gets Ella Gardner back in the front row. We haven't called her name offensively at all because the ball control hasn't been there. But you want to have that slide. You want to have that third option in the front row of somebody you know can hit the ball at a high rate.
And Gardner had such a great match yesterday with 8 kills in the semis. Jovanionic, they're going to let that sail wide. Yeah, good judgment by Fairfield that time. It's a split-second decision that you have to make. Todd Kress.
And Gardner, look, at the last second, pulls her hands down a little bit. She knows because she knows Jovioni's going for those hands, so you can kind of see she breaks that blocking technique, knowing that Jovioni's going to want to try to hit those high hands. So that's just a good read in set learning that you're going up against your attackers. You know what they're going to go for now, what their tendencies will be.
Coach Kress loves his team's instincts. You know, he has not been the happiest with the play of his team. The last few weekends of the season, he said that they weren't quite as sharp as they had been at other points in the season, that they could play a little bit better. He was hoping that they would kind of find their highest gear here. But that being said, they dropped a set in the second round against Niagara, won that in 4 sets. Dropped a set yesterday to Siena and won that in 4. And it's gotten to the point where anytime Fairfield drops a set, you wonder, well, what's wrong with Fairfield?
What's going on?
Because they're so dominant.
Everybody okay? No, but you got it. It's only going to get harder from here, right? If they win, they go to the NCAA tournament. They're not going to be playing teams that they've seen before and or have beat or haven't given them. I mean, it's going to be harder from here. So you really want to, fatigue is a big thing to consider as you head toward the end of the season, obviously, and muscle fatigue, mental fatigue. But this is the point at the season that you need to find that stride. And it is concerning for Coach Kress to know that they've had a couple rough weeks leading into this when they only need to be playing better volleyball as the season continues. Great get.
Another great dig. Diaz over there.
Yeah, that's 4.
Point for Fairfield.
It's almost like when you're a player, you like know it. It's weird because I was like, wait, was there 4 contacts? But there's like this instinct in me to be like, wait, that is 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Because Nicole Legg kind of contacted it twice, it felt like 4.
I felt like that might have been the block, but
I think that she touched it twice. Yeah, the first one wasn't the block. It was kind of like on her way down.
Yeah. So Kyle Robinson got an explanation. And 3 in a row now for Fairfield to close the gap. Jovanionic. Over from Elliott.
Team.
Jovanionic again. And look at this. Quinnipiac has arrived at set point. They'll have 2 of them. And it'll be Nicole Legg, who's had a great first set, retreating to serve.
And sometimes the block can be set up perfectly, but because it's a small attacker, they're going to hit those forearms, and those forearms are unpredictable. The hands are what control the block, so it's almost her height is to her advantage right now.
Kept alive by Fairfield. Cooper, oh yeah, big slam dunk from Sabria Cooper.
And always makes a statement when she's in the front row. Whether it's the one that she comes in on, the one she goes out on, it's always this big emotional shift for this Fairfield team when she gets a kill.
So they've erased 1 set point, still 1 more after the timeout coming for Quinnipiac. What a start to this match, these 2 come into play, both sides. And Sabria Cooper, the senior, had 10 kills in each of her first 2 matches here this week. There she is, going cross court.
And no 2 shots are the same. She's going all over the court. Love that you add the element of her height and her size and her reach as a block, because keep in mind that left side, that's where a lot of teams have production, right? So you need to have a big presence out there. You need to have a big block. We actually saw a lot of teams in this tournament making substitutions to then counteract the offensive production on the outside. But you don't have to do that with Sabria Cooper. You are obviously going to keep her on the outside as much as possible.
Saw them taping up her left thumb during this timeout as the rest of the Stags hear from Coach Kress. And down on the other end, it's Kyle Robinson, always keeping it positive. Very cerebral coach is Coach Robinson. 1 more set point for Quinnipiac.
And you're in the position you want. You're getting the ball and serve receive. First ball kill situation, you close out this set.
Carey serves, just made it over the tape.
Great dig.
What a big kill, Allie Elliott. Hey, leave it to one of Todd Kress's freshmen to step up big to even the set.
And everyone's like, oh, KJ Johnson's not in the front row. You know, we don't have to worry. Yeah, you do, because you have players like that who are going to find the seam. and swing just as heavy, arguably, as KJ Johnson does.
Again, the next generation of great Stag players, 24 apiece.
With the paint
middle. Morse, again coming up big. What a set she's had.
We're getting a challenge for in the net. The whole team on Fairfield, as that block was going up, or on the way down, screaming, in the net, in the net, in the net. So we're gonna get a coach's challenge from Coach Todd Kress.
We'll see if Morse's 5th kill of the set stands. How big a call is this?
So it's not here, it's the play before.
Okay.
So we'll see what they find.
We've seen the officials
I'm not gonna
at
guess.
that monitor so many times this week, and you know, Erin, it seems like every single time we try to predict what the ultimate ruling will be, it's the opposite.
I think I'm just gonna start flipping a coin. Overturn, underturn. What are we gonna say? Call is confirmed, no net. So the down official did state that the player, he thought it wasn't the player, but it was the ball in that instance. So
okay.
He did say that to Coach Kress, but you know what? If you have the challenge, use it, especially in a tight match like this.
So the 3rd time that the Bobcats have had a set point here in set number 1 as Damla Güneş from Turkey set to serve, 25-24.
A great set.
Diaz, yes! And for the first time this season, Quinnipiac takes a set off the top-seeded Stags. So a surprising start here to the finals at the MAAC Championship. Quinnipiac is on the board.
The sun carries the moon. When the wind blows, I shelter you. I'm on your side, baby, believe me. I'm on your side.
When you get a chip in your windshield, trust Safelite. This couple counts on their SUV as they travel for their small business. So when they got a chip in their windshield, they brought it to Safelite for a same-day in-shop repair. We repaired the chip right away, and with their insurance, it was no cost to them. Plus, to protect their glass, we installed new wipers too. That's service the way you need it.
Safelite repair, Safelite replace.
You said close your eyes, don't look down. Fall into me, and I'll catch you, darling. We'll dance in the street.
The game has never been better. That is hockey.
Our teammates, we just have such a great chemistry because we all care for each other on and off the court, which I think is what builds that chemistry on the court.
We did focus on finishing this season strong and then coming to championship strong. A lot of teams are, I think, afraid of us right now.
So Quinnipiac on the board first, taking set number 1, surprisingly, against the juggernaut Stags, and all led by Morrison. Giovignoni, each with 5 kills. Diaz, Leg, and Gunish all in there as well. But, you know, it feels like it's not that Fairfield is struggling. I just think that the Bobcats have elevated their game.
Oh, 100%. I mean, kill production, offensive production, on top of the great defense. Now you're adding blocks into the mix too. I mean, it's just, they're going to be a tough team to beat. And Quinnipiac, yeah, they may be the bracket busters, but boy, they came to play today. Everybody on this team is playing lights out, different plane, like you said, out-of-body experience.
Well, yeah, and if Kyle Robinson wants the best out of his team, for them to play the best match of their lives and have, in essence, an out-of-body experience, today's the day.
Absolutely.
So we'll get set number 2 started with the freshman Allie Elliott putting it in.
That's how you want to start.
That's right.
We are not just a Diaz show. We are a 5-6 front row player show. Everybody on this front line can produce. And getting Nicole Leg in early is going to be critical for Quinnipiac. So great first set, great first play.
Diaz, left-handed jump serve. And a great block. It's Leg up there again.
And Gunish is super excited. Makes me think she got a good hand on that play. One-on-one. The slide is perfect. The block, you only have to block a slide one-on-one. In fact, a lot of higher level teams, you know, the Big 12s, the Texas, the Nebraskas, they block slides one-on-one because they want to have the option on defense. So Gunish just made the right read and stepped right in front of that attack.
Leg out. First 3 points. There's Giovignoni. Talented freshman. Such a young team, this Bobcats team.
Giovignoni, you can rely on her in the middle back. I mean, that's what's so great about this team. They're just, everybody's scoring points, but Fairfield thinks they get a kill from Johnson. It's dug up, except for that one.
Johnson.
Oh, Lord of mercy. I mean, that's just unreal.
Yeah.
You know that, right? That's just kind of unreal.
That's the it's time to get serious moment right there.
Lord have mercy. Mo just sitting there like, all right, I'm going to try to make the read.
And another kill coming right back, Junish. You know, the difference between these two teams is their age and their experience. I mean, you're looking at the Bobcats roster, you got 1 senior and 1 grad transfer.
Yeah.
Everybody else underclassmen, there's seniors all over Fairfield's roster.
Serve tough, push him out of system.
Johnson, and it's wide. Quinnipiac out of that victory in the first set.
5-1.
Quickly right back out of the gates again.
Let's go.
Johnson.
Great dig by Mo.
That's an incredible dig.
My goodness.
Johnson. Diaz digs it out. And that one, 2 point for Quinnipiac.
And that's how frustrating it is. You frustrate players like KJ Johnson because you just are gritty and sit in there and make the dig. She gets a roll shot down the line, you convert. So frustrating.
They keep the energy high. The Bobcats out to a quick 6-1 advantage. Second set, they have a set in hand.
Bracket Busters of March are born in Atlantic City with a spot in the NCAA tournament on the line. 22 teams will converge in the hub of entertainment for the 2023 Hercules Tires MAAC Basketball Championships. Known for fine dining and world-class hotels, don't miss the action alongside the MAAC Esports Championships, March 7th through the 11th. UV and Destination AC. For tickets, visit boardwalkhall.com.
You got to hand it to Coach Kyle Robinson. He keeps this team believing. But you get the impression, you watch him, and even he gets surprised sometimes by the things that his team does, some of these players.
Yeah, and Robinson's just an intense guy. Like, you can see the way he coaches, his coaching style. Yeah, his team has fun, but he's an intense guy just in general. And this team needs that right now. They need that intensity as they play a really tough team. KJ Johnson getting a much-needed kill out of that timeout in that first ball kill situation. Definitely want to make sure her confidence stays as high as we've seen it throughout the tournament.
Johnson accounting for both of Fairfield's points so far, early stages of this second set. Diaz in the corner. Oh, what a big kill, Giovagnoni. It just crept over the net, and it was just sitting pretty for her to put away.
Convert, convert, convert. Frustrating and converting. That's what it is. That's the makeup of Quinnipiac today. They're playing great defense, and then they're just scoring points any way that they can. Great play at the net by Giovagnoni, who arguably is one of the shorter players at the net right now.
Venra Giovagnoni, so stoic. This freshman from Italy. Just does so many different things out there that impress you. And Cooper coming through. Fairfield needs that. Quinnipiac with the edge and kills. Not surprising at this point. Them having a set and a 4-point lead in the second in hand. A little miscommunication, I think, right there, Erin, at the net. What happened there?
Yeah, I don't know where that second ball was supposed to go. Was the second ball supposed to go to the middle on a swing? I mean, it's just confusing. You've got to make it simple for your hitters to know who you're trying to set or scream their name as that ball comes out of your hands.
Giovagnoni, yeah. Off the hands of the blockers, the point for Quinnipiac, extending the lead to 8-4. That's a point, Cooper. Oh, it's kept alive. And I thought that point had been over for Fairfield. Somehow, the Bobcats kept it alive and came back and won it.
The Bobcats want some pancakes for breakfast. Let's go. Goonish just diving for that play.
And Coach Kress, take a look. Coach Kress is challenging this. He has submitted the challenge. That whether it was a good play or not up.
Sometimes you can tell by the sound, and I just couldn't tell. It's hard to see. They're going to challenge whether or not the pancake was up or if it was on the ground.
Yeah. So it's
the play before. So that going back to see if Goonish did get the pancake or not.
Right.
Still a great play at the net by Lexi Morse to get just in and gets two hands in front of Allie Elliott's face to close out the point. But again, if the call is reversed, it's a replay, right? Because the play didn't end on that call.
correct. This might be it. Take a look.
Oh, that's down. Good challenge.
So if it hits part of the hand, but any part of the court, though.
And her hand, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that ball hits the
Can't really tell from that angle, but I think you were right on that previous angle.
Yeah.
Take another look here.
Down there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Still a great play, though.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We think it'll be overturned. How many times have we been wrong now?
Oh, well, we'll see. Reverse, we did it, Tom.
Wow.
We did it.
Well,
High fives to us.
Yeah, there's first time for everything, Erin. It was absolutely reversed. Quinnipiac doesn't like it, but so they'll replay the point.
Yes, replay the point. And then we're going to do a lineup check. We want to make sure we have the right servers, make sure we're in the right rotations.
But why would they replay the point if it's down? That should be Fairfield's point.
Because, oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
It should be Fairfield's point.
Did they call a replay, or did they call that the ball was down?
So they
yeah,
gave
so Fairfield got the point.
point.
So they,
yeah.
because it would technically end the point. Yeah.
Yep.
That makes sense.
All right.
Well, we're wrong on the second half of it. At least we got the call part right.
Something. It's like something to build on, okay?
And they have to remember all these rules and have to remember who had the ball. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah,
These
that's
refs
right.
have the hardest job here.
They do. They do. 8-5 now. Quinnipiac. Fairfield trying to edge a little closer. There's Diaz. Oh, yeah. Great kill. There's that freshman, Elliott. We talk about really the two freshmen that Todd Kress spoke so glowingly of. Elliott, Maya Walker was another one that such huge roles for him all season long.
And that's the kind of point that Fairfield wants. They want that win in transition. They want to play good defense, get the ball, and convert. Just like that.
Kill.
That's how you get back in. Starting to really see Fairfield kind of come into their own now into the second set, especially on these last 2 points.
Gardner. They needed a spark. Maybe this is it for the Stags. Diaz. Point for Fairfield. Just like that, 4 in a row, and we're tied at 8.
It's all about ball control. If the 2 passes start to happen for Quinnipiac, they become a one-dimensional team, and that's when they can get themselves into sticky situations. Great pass. Now you have 3 options.
Say, into the net. No, point for Fairfield. And just like that, the Stags have made a serious run and taken the lead. And Coach Robinson's going to call timeout. He's going to say to his girls, I'm sure, you know, you guys didn't think that Fairfield was just going to lay back and not make a run at us, did you?
Yeah. Again, super intense guy, expects his team to play at a certain level, a certain caliber. You cannot air yourself out of this match. I mean, you played almost perfect volleyball in that first set, get the ball control back, reduce the amount of unforced errors, and you're going to be in good shape. But this is the type of volleyball we expect to see from Fairfield. This tempo, this grittiness, this really high level of aggression. They're kind of starting to become the team, or we're starting to see who this team is in this match. Just taking them a little bit of time to find that groove.
Here's Todd Kress. As his team has gone ahead 9-8. And Quinnipiac, Coach Robinson kind of lit into them a little bit there. Maybe trying to get their attention. 5-0 run from Fairfield has put them back in the lead, 9-8.
It's this expectation of excellence that I think this team, as they continue to grow and you have a lot of these freshmen, these young players mature, it's going to carry over. Great pass. Great get by Mo. Deep
into the court. From way way beyond the sideline. And the point for the Stags, and there she is, Montgomery.
We've seen her be tricky all tournament. Only typically when she's been in the front row running the 5-1, but I love this heads-up play. The defense was so sucked back. Good read by her to get the easy point for her team.
Giovignoni blocked. Big rejection. Elliott and Gardner.
Where Quinnipiac did such a good job in that first set was control the second contact and put the ball in zones where the attackers could really swing at the ball. Because of the drop in the passing, those balls are farther off the net, and now you're contending with off-speed shots. You don't have the tempo you want to run on offense.
Diaz. Another point for Fairfield. 8 straight points for the top-seeded Stags.
And truly playing like we expected them to play in this set.
Playing like Fairfield. And finally, ending the drought, Giovignoni was in on that. So it's 12-9. How will Quinnipiac, though, react to Fairfield taking it to them, really, for the first time in this match?
Oh.
Sails long for Gardner.
Man, that would have been pretty, though, if she just got on top of that ball. Because everything was right. Mechanically, just a little bit late on that arm swing. Good break for Quinnipiac, because that would have been a monster swing if she had flipped it right. Great get by Mo.
And it's good. That block landed in. Quinnipiac on top 13-10. Check that Fairfield with that lead.
Goes off and lands right back in.
Just inside that line.
Sabria Cooper's made so many adjustments in that right hand to make that happen. She knows that she is going to be kind of this backboard that Quinnipiac's going to want to try to go after, so you just have to have really good, sound hands.
Look at Diaz and an amazing dipping serve. Big kill, and here come the Bobcats. Lexi Morse again. 6 kills for number 22.
Great win in transition. Berg just laying down the law, getting that dig on the other side, but heads up play by Quinnipiac to convert that.
Yep. Serve, they let it go, and it fell beyond the baseline. You see Lexi Morse. We asked Coach Robinson about her. First thing he said, plays with a ton of heart. A junior from Tampa. 14-11 Stags. Diaz blocked at the net. Ella Gardner all over that. Maybe the best blocker on this entire Stags team.
Yeah, and you just have to lead your hitters a little bit more. Again, Diaz can't get that kind of forward momentum into the swing where we've seen her be her most efficient, especially against a big block. In front, just like that. That's a great swing. Just sliced a little bit too far. Thumb was almost a little bit too down on that swing, but the set location much better. Yeah, see that thumb down, just kind of clipped it on the outside of her hand, almost on that last pinky.
Yep.
Rather than getting the full contact that she wanted.
12 of the last 15 points to Fairfield. Bobcats take that one. Mariana Diaz from Miami, set to serve. that one snuck over the net. Here comes Diaz. Oh, just putting the hammer down is Gardner.
And this middle in transition, that's the makeup of Fairfield. Yes, they have so many options on the outside. They have Sarah Daniels on the right side. When they're at their best, they're leveraging that middle in transition, using the slides, using those 3s or 1s to score points.
Big serve, big point for Fairfield. And the Stags starting to feel it right now.
The separation we expected.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like, and it's not that Quinnipiac's not doing. You know, they've had a few more errors in this set than they did the first, but it's the little things right now. It's the execution. It's the putting the ball away on first ball kill.
Goonish into the net. 19-12 Fairfield, getting it in gear right now. Starting to tick like a clock as they have opened up a 7-point lead on Quinnipiac. There's KJ Johnson, and then the other side, Kyle Robinson. Is Quinnipiac doing anything that they need to correct on their end, or is this just really all Fairfield showing their dominance?
No, I think Quinnipiac's playing a higher volleyball right now. Obviously, Fairfield has stepped their game up significantly to match the level of intensity that Quinnipiac had in that first set. But it's the one error leads to 2, second error leads to the third. Just have to be able to kind of get yourself out of that mentality. And I think what Quinnipiac did so well in that first set is that they would win those big rallies. They'd put the ball away in transition. Right now, we're seeing Fairfield make those adjustments as well.
Todd Kress, 9-time MAAC Coach of the Year. What a resume. And, you know, they're on top in this conference year after year after year. We asked him about, you know, who he looks up to in the coaching ranks. And he talked about Nick Saban at Alabama and how, you know, when Bama's up by 40 and he sees Saban still, fourth quarter, and he's still in there coaching, still being intense. He wants to be that guy, and he certainly is. Drawing a lot of inspiration from Coach Saban. And a kill. Nicole Legg stepping up right now, and the Bobcats need her. Goonish set to serve. Yagmur. And that one might have landed right on the line, and it did. Well, it was awful close in the back of the court, but right on the line.
Everyone in the gym expects that ball to go to KJ Johnson, and that's the beauty of having just so many different players on the front row. Huge seam, no defense in front.
Daniels just crushed it.
Yeah, gets to have no block in front of her because everyone in the gym thinks it's going to KJ Johnson. That's the beauty of having KJ Johnson on your team too. Not only can she kill, she can make people second guess. Yeah.
Kind of a decoy. That one goes out. Things have sort of unraveled for Quinnipiac here in this second set. Remember, they started quickly in the early stages, but Fairfield has cranked it up. Montgomery, the lefty, serving it deep into the court. What a dig by Berg. Couldn't keep it alive that time.
And that ball, that leg just took a rip on. I mean, nobody else in the gym would think to swing at that. That's that graduate level of experience. She knows where she is in relation to the net. Love that she's willing to be aggressive and make those plays.
Nicole Legg just checking back into the game for Quinnipiac.
Had a killer serve line, service stint yesterday in one of the matches. I think, what, 8 points in a row from her serve? So you know when she gets back there, she has this gnarly flat serve that comes at you, she can score some points. She can be the equalizer here behind that line.
Yeah. Johnson.
Good slow down.
Jokic, tap it over. Cooper. And Cooper, again, is still kept alive. Johnson.
Go, go, go.
They're not going to keep that one alive from KJ Johnson, who gets them to 22-15.
Great seam swing by Johnson. And great effort by Gunish. Good touch. Nicole Legg using all of that 6'3" frame to try to get a hand on that play.
Morgan Dahl, senior out of Salem, Oregon, serving. 7-point cushion. And it's going to belong to Fairfield. That point brings them to within 2 of the second set.
Lexi Morris is up in the air. That ball's just way too low for her. You have to think, where is she going to swing on that ball on the highest extension of her reach? That's where you set the ball so she can crank on top of it.
Short serve. Cooper.
There she is. Oh, great get.
Cooper again. Oh, they stop her twice in a row. How about that? Jovignonic. It's good.
Another great swing by Jovignoni on the outside, just being relentless, hitting into the seam. Haven't called her name a lot in this because, again, dig location, set location has been off the net.
Jovignoni stepping up when they need her big time. Cooper rejected.
Tight to the net, tight to play it. Great get, great coverage.
Oh, what a big kill with all the power from Morse. Bobcats not going quietly in the second set.
And look at this arm swing of Lexi Morse. See how long this thing is? So you have to set that ball higher so she can whip that elbow around and make that swing. Just a little bit higher out of her than most tempos you see across this tournament.
Elliott, they couldn't handle it. Elliott. Second kill for her in this second set. How about that? Gardner, we talked about her maybe being the best blocker on this team, showing it again. And Fairfield has evened this championship match at a set apiece, 25-17. Quinnipiac had started quickly in that second set with all that momentum that they had coming out of that first set victory. Fairfield able to answer back. KJ Johnson now with 7 kills. Elliott, Cooper, each with 6. And over on the other side, Quinnipiac, Jovignoni already into double figures with 10 kills. Even at a set apiece, and Coach Kress facing some adversity, losing the first set. Quinnipiac even came out quickly to start that second set, and then it seemed like you flicked the switch. What was the change?
Well, yeah, we expect adversity. It's a championship match. You know, both sides are going to be going at it. This is Quinnipiac's Super Bowl. They've not won a conference championship before, so we expect their absolute best, and we're seeing it. And we just had to settle down, get into a rhythm, do what we do best. There's still plenty of things that we're not executing at a very high level that we need to improve upon. Ball one contact. Blocking wise, we need to settle down on what we're trying to get accomplished on the block and understanding, and then just executing a game plan. So it's far from over. Now it's a best of 3, and we've got to be at our best moving forward.
And Coach, in that first set, I mean, just watching Quinnipiac over this whole tournament, they're so frustrating on defense because they can pick up everything. What are you telling your hitters to keep them in, keep their confidence nice and high if they're continuing to get dug?
Yeah, I mean, there's shots that we're trying to work on that we're not executing right now. They are good defensively, but there's holes out there that we're trying to swing to, and right now we're not executing that. So we'll talk in this set, try to get our hitters to understand what's out there available, what shots are open, and then try to execute those shots. So, yeah, great point.
All right, Coach. Well, like you said, it's down to a best of 3. The title is hanging in the balance. Feel any pressure coming from your players, or do they like this? Do they thrive in this type of environment?
I thought the first set they were tight. We played Quinnipiac twice this year, and they were 2 pretty decisive 3-0 matches. And I don't know if they just didn't think that they were going to see a different version of them. I'm old enough that I knew we were going to see a different version of them. But when you're talking to 18, 19, and 20-year-olds, sometimes that's hard to get through their mind. But I'm glad we got pushed that first set. Now I have their attention, and when I have their attention, we can accomplish a lot of things.
It's thrilling out there, Coach. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Coach Todd Kress joining us, and we are even. Quinnipiac won the first set. Fairfield took the second. The third set straight ahead at the MAAC Championship.
Releases the 3! Martinez does it again!
I might just have to go stupid.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket.
Cricket is easy, it's affordable, customer service is top-notch. That's why I've been with them for so long.
With all that, I'd stay a while too. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Bleu de Chanel, eau de parfum.
Oh, that's normal. Wow.
Kia, movement that inspires.
If Mark, Mr. Cartoon Machado, didn't have the fighting spirit to draw out his passion, he never would have turned chrome into a canvas. If he let a lack of tools stop him, he never would have started tattooing using a homemade machine. And if he listened to those who said you need an art degree, he never would have perfected the street look that made him a street legend. That's the fighting spirit. That's what makes a lion